stop printing this much. Renegade Nell episode 7 begins, surprisingly, with a song. A man sings a musical-esque song about Nell being a fearsome monster. It seems to be a ballad. Nell, Roxy, George, and Paul come across a flyer, as does the Queen. She is worried about the Jacobites and is convinced by Poynton when he suggests she leave the palace and go somewhere else. Nell and her party follow the symbol on a flyer to a printing press. Billy suggests to Nell that instead of destroying the press, they use it for the truth. Inside the building is a large painting of Lady Eularia. They also end up meeting Rasselas, who tells them everything he heard about Poynton and Sophia. However, when they pitch it to the editor, he refuses the story. They learn about Devereaux's trial, but Nell thinks Eularia will get him off. At court, Devereaux blames everything on Nell. He says he refused Nell's approaches at the prison and stayed behind in order to clear his name as a gentleman. Sophia visits Poynton with the idea of looking for Rasselas and Nell. But Poynton is more concerned with the Queen, who will be moving into his estate soon. He tells Sophia to move beyond the issue of Nell. Meanwhile, Nell rants about the whole situation to Billy, saying that Poynton is bringing war here and people like her will suffer the most. Billy says they will make sure it doesn't happen. A woman representing the victims questions Devereaux in court. She accuses Devereaux of being a Jacobite due to his connection with a French grandfather. While defending himself, Devereaux reveals that his father was a shoemaker. Seeing a lost cause, Eularia leaves. As the men from the Jacobite cause arrive at Poynton's house, Sophia sees Thomas arrive as well. But of course, she's left out of all the proceedings. Alone in Poynton's office, she finds the hidden trapdoor. Roxy and Rasselas catch up on everything that's happened. Roxy gets angry with Nell when she realizes didn't tell her Rasselas asked her if he could be with Roxy. Eularia then arrives, but unfortunately refuses to listen to Nell's story. At the same time, Roxy's unexplained magic has a paper flying towards her on its own. Sophia goes downstairs and uses the same spell as before to locate Rasselas. The cloth in her hand begins to burn. Nell holds her gun up at Eularia, but before she can go further, Sophia possesses Eularia. She fights Nell and pushes her under the printing press. Her magic makes all the lies in the newspaper come alive, voices speaking the words in the entire building. George realizes she needs the truth and sings a song that describes Nell as she is. Sophia is forced out of Eularia, defeated again. Sophia bursts into the other room and tells Poynton and the others that Nell knows about the invasion. They decide to make a move against the Queen the very next day. Eularia wakes up, wanting revenge on whoever possessed her. Nell and the others tell her about Sophia and Poynton. Eularia's companion arrives and tells them that Devereaux was pronounced guilty, but he fought his guards and got away. Eularia fires the editor who refused Rasselas's story and appoints Polly instead. The editor's office then receives a pigeon with a note about the Queen being moved. There's no time to print a story. But Nell says they're going to stop them anyway. We then see a carriage racing along the road, driven by Nell at the end of Renegade Nell episode 7. The episode review. Renegade Nell episode 7 moves Nell from the territory of individual adventures and minor villains to the bigger picture. She is now not only going after larger, systematic villains like the press, but she's directly involved in a plot to overthrow the Queen. While her previous escapades have been fun, I wonder if the story will maintain the same level of playfulness and quirkiness as Nell deals with such large issues. What's quite interesting is the arc for Sophia. It's fascinating to have watched her start all of this in order to protect her inheritance, which she would lose if along with Thomas, and now, after all her efforts, to be sidelined by men anyway. Embroiled in Poynton's plan but not receiving any of the benefits, Sophia is still set to lose everything she owns. On to the last episode.